you ever wondered why countries with heavy debt do not print money in large amounts to repay their loans? Well, there is an explanation. But first, let us take a look at the debt burden of a few African countries. South Africa's total debt as of December 2024 was around 300 billion US dollars, while that of Nigeria was nearly 100 billion US dollars. Kenya's debt was around $80 billion, while that of Ghana was around $50 billion. Zambia's debt was $24 billion, while Uganda owed its creditors $26 billion. Big figures, right? Well, those countries and many more cannot just print extra money overnight to offset their debts. Here is why. Printing more money means that there will be more money in circulation. And when there's more money in circulation, almost everyone gets access to money. Remember, money has its characteristics. The two main ones are that its supply has to be limited and it must have the ability to store value. Now, what happens when everyone has money? The prices of goods and services are adjusted upwards so that at the end of the day, the manufacturers and retailers make a profit. This means that people would need more money every day to buy the same amount of goods. In mid-2000s, Zimbabwe printed more money, the Zimbabwean dollar, with the hope of resolving its economic challenges. At the time, Zimbabwe had been sanctioned by the United States, while the country's tax base had shrunk and the collected revenue could not support expenditure and loan obligations. But Zimbabwe's money printing intervention turned out to be costly as inflation surged to 231 million%. A loaf of bread in the country in June 2008 was costing the same as 12 new cars in Zimbabwe 10 years earlier. Prices of goods at shops were changing by the minute, while most schools and hospitals remained closed. And an average of 8 out of every 10 people were out of work. Savings had been eroded. The government's intervention to print 100 trillion Zimbabwean dollar notes did not improve the situation. Given the Zimbabwean dollar's significant loss of value, the government of then President Robert Mugabe officially abandoned the currency in early 2009. Zimbabweans were thereafter allowed to use international currencies for trade, mainly the US dollar. The South African rand was also used for transactions, and it also served as Zimbabwe's reference currency, meaning it was a benchmark for pricing other currencies. Today, Zimbabwe has managed to stabilize its economy, and it has a new currency called the Zimbabwe Gold, shortened as ZiG. In 2019, the inflation of Latin American nation Venezuela reached 300,000%. With that in mind, what should be done to improve a country's economy and its ability to repay a debt? The nation has to make and sell more things, whether goods or services. This would make it safe to print more money so that people can buy those extra commodities. If a country prints extra money without making more things, then prices naturally skyrocket.